Well, what do you know? Apparently, there is now an official statement from Xbox that's confirmed that they're still working on their next generation hardware. I just made the video. I think it was midnight, like 12 a.m. If you notice, I sounded really low on the microphone, not as loud as I usually can be. I was already tired. But I was like, man, let me just look at this particular rumor. And I said, in that rumor, a few things gave away the fact that that rumor was a whole bunch of baloney, such as the fact that they were going to take, things like Minecraft and Forza, which had made millions and millions of dollars on the console, and then somehow abandon the console. Where would they sell it? Why does nobody think about Xbox's business with truth in mind? Okay, apparently Colt Eastwood is now talking in a video that he's received some kind of a confirmation statement. I'll go ahead and listen. I don't need any confirmation other than, is there going to be money in it? If there's going to be money in it, I know Xbox is going to chase it into the hole. PlayStation will pretend like they're not going to chase it, and all of a sudden when nobody's watching, PlayStation slips in there. That's how PlayStation usually does. Xbox, I know for sure, if there's money in it, they're going to dive right in.
Are now enveloping fans that Xbox may soon announce the cancellation of next generation and leave hardware indefinitely. This information comes from a trusted leaker that, according to many games journalists that report on his info, Sneaker has ties to internal Xbox and Microsoft business dealings. Here's what he had to say. Without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, next one...
I'm going to have to fast forward this, Colt. Let's get to exactly what it is that the official statement has been given to you, man. We don't really need a rehash of all of this, to be very honest.
Possible and likely that Microsoft is staring down the barrel of canceling the next generation console and throwing away 2 to 3 years of R&D and laying off hardware employees in the hundreds. Jez Corden of Windows Central, who has been a strong, reliable insider and reporter, says, quote, I can confirm via a very trusted source that this isn't true, at least for now, but that, quote, at least for now qualifier is a real problem. How can we know what will be true next quarter? I've asked multiple trusted sources about what Xbox's present hardware posture is. For now, it remains unchanged. Microsoft publicly confirmed that it's still committed to first-party Xbox hardware over the summer, with comments from both President Sarah Bond and AMD CEO Lisa Su on silicon that would power next-generation Xbox devices, both
they already said that
from third and first party, close quote. But Microsoft has provided the following statement to Windows Central Jez Corden after asking about the clarity for the cancellation of next generation Xbox. Microsoft says, quote, we are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices designed, engineered, and built by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD, close quote.
I mean, this is a non-story of stories. Like, how are they going to justify the billions of dollars that they're going to lose from their market share if they don't make future hardware? The one thing you can guarantee is the Series S and X are not going to be, in a sense, thrown away. They're going to continue to receive support perpetually. When your Xbox finally breaks, you just move into the next hardware, take all your games with you, and that's how they intend to keep making money. This article from Johnny Flores Jr. says just hours after it's been reported by multiple reliable insiders that plans for a successor to the Xbox Series X and S were up in the air, no longer a definitive release, Microsoft has hit back at the rumors. In a statement shared with Jez Corden, Microsoft has affirmed that it is still actively invested in releasing a new first-party console, despite prior reports suggesting that the corporation was exiting the hardware space altogether. We are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices, designed, engineered, and built by Xbox. For more details, visit our community agreement, blah, 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 blah. The announcement was made in June. They said it. Many of you are not listening. You don't realize that this is not the first time that people are talking about them actually leaving hardware. Let me go ahead and point this out to you, ladies and gentlemen. Even PlayStation publicly alluded to this in June, before this video came out. They said others backed up SO's claims, some even going as far as to assert that the plug had been pulled altogether in hardware. That's nonsense. Not only did those reports point to a future without a new console, it was further rumored that significant layoffs would be coming as early as Q1 2026. Given how rapidly things are moving, it likely won't be long before everything is addressed in full. Now, here's the problem with a lot of this. In the fireside chat that PlayStation did in June, there was a question there where they said, well, seeing how, Xbox was largely abandoning the the hardware business or the console business, it was a question that was actually posed to Nishino-san, right? Then they asked them and said, how do you intend on actually furthering the PlayStation, hardware business and such? It was right after that PlayStation went into the AMD mode where they did the thing with Lisa. They did it. I said with Lisa Su. They did the video with Sarah Bond. Let me go ahead and find it for you. She went ahead and reposted it. She doesn't post too much. She posts like once every so often. She just posted this an hour ago. Okay, Lisa Su does not post much, so you can find this particular thing on here. There it is. And around that same time, this is June 17th. I think it was like a day or two later. Hold on, let me find. When did this fireside chat happen? They put it on the front. This was June 13th, right? And then 4 days later, June 17th, bam, Xbox does this announcement and actually makes this video. I thought that video was actually in response to what their shareholders were already, whispering within their ranks. I don't think it was for you leakers and rumor mill people. I'm sorry. This thing is above our pay grade at the end of the day. If you understand what I mean. I found it. I've been telling y'all that these people are talking nonsense. Here it is.
Continuing value, even access mode change.
Many investors are speculating that Microsoft is moving away from the console. If that's true, is that good or bad for PlayStation?
Guys, 4 days later, Microsoft comes out. Who told you we're moving away from freaking, I'm trying to paint a picture for you guys. Put a timeline in place.
Access mode change.
Many investors are speculating that Microsoft is moving away from the console. If that's true, is that good or bad for PlayStation?
Now, as to how this stuff manifests itself, that's where they have room to modify. There's also another big play in between here as to when you launch your console. If anything, the so-called Q1 2026 layoffs, I think signal that they want to launch the console. If you listen to this fireside chat, you'll learn console business. In this fireside chat, this is why I told PlayStation gamers, where are your content creators? I'm trying to make content and get people to PC. I still got to carry y'all too? They asked this lady and said, usually when you launch a new console, we see some, markers go down financially because of the launch of new hardware and, the heavy spend and all that, marketing and the push and logistics. And then they asked how they meant to mitigate those factors. And she gave an answer. That's going to be for a separate video. I'm not doing that in this video right now. And to me, if I look at the Xbox business and they're saying they want to do layoffs, it kind of signals that more hardware is probably going to be on the horizon to help to mitigate that. Now, when we saw the first leak of the Asus Xbox ROG Ally all the way through its unveiling, it was obvious that this was within how many months did it take? I think it was first leaked in like April or May, June. They showed it, October, bam. So May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months, pretty much. So that's about, 2 quarters worth of time. But I guess it'll be in a different, depending on their, fiscal year that comes into play. So I'm not seeing any of this stuff that people are talking about over here because Xbox needs hardware to make money. Are you guys not listening? They need hardware to make money.
This is a stark response to rumors that normally Microsoft or Xbox refuse to comment on, which means if Xbox truly was going to put into question whether they move forward with next generation, they would have refused to answer the rumors that are standing. The problem is that in early 2024, Jez Corden received the same confirmation that Xbox would not be going third party just before the infamous business update when Phil said it's just 4 games.
So basically things can change. I get it. But like I said, if there's money to be made, they will pursue it into the ground. Unless they don't see a way forward for more money to be made, and then they just keep selling the Series S and X consoles and whatever other OEM stuff happens, that's when you're not going to see brand new hardware and you take what you get. But again, like I usually say, come on over to PC. We got you covered. Peace out.